Hello, my creative friends. Jessica Sanders here of ColorMeCreativeArt.com. Welcome to my channel. So today I thought it would be fun and fabulous to create some watercolor hearts. But I kind of want to do a little twist on it. I want to mask off my watercolor paper. So I thought that an easy way to do that would be to use contact paper. So I cut out some little squares or little pieces of contact paper, and I can use my stencil. You can freehand it. There are a lot of ways you could do it. You could use your stencil. You could fold the contact paper and just go ahead and cut it. Depends on really what you want, but I'll just try to draw it. Let me get any kind of pen I think would work, as long as it were right on this backing. So not a gel pen. Mark that one off the list. What will work? I bet a Sharpie would work. Doesn't matter if you have a thick or thin line. Doesn't matter if it's straight. I'm just doing one single heart, so I'm just going to do one. There we go. You can see that I really love this stencil. I've used it a lot, and it's got all kinds of acrylics and everything all over it. I love it. Makes me happy. So all you do then is cut out your heart. Now if you're really industrious, you could have a double, like a stencil and a heart. I already started cutting mine, but let me just, because that thought just crossed my mind, so I'm going to trim that edge off nice and straight and make actually all of my edges nice and straight. That way I get double duty here for my paper. I'll get a mask and a stencil all at the same time. A sticky stencil, but stencil nonetheless. Okay, and then if I fold it to cut this heart, right there along the middle, straight would help. I'm not usually this precise, so, you know, that's why I'm having a little struggle here. And then just cut it out right along the line. It doesn't matter, just pick part of the line you want to cut on and follow it right around. I'm sure you don't need instructions on how to cut it out. Okay, there we go. And you have a nice heart mask and a heart sticky stencil. My cat has been over here. It's terrible. Okay, so sticky stencil or a sticky heart mask. Let's try the mask. We can do both on this. Oh my goodness, we could do double hearts. Like, okay, so I can put the mask. Let's see, how would I do this? Would I do one at a time? I have to think about it. If they're overlapping. So when I put this on the page, this area is going to be kept white, and this area will be kept white. So this one will be solid. So I actually think I would like to put like this one here, the colored one, and could overlap the white one just a little. What do you think? Now I wouldn't have to use this mask. I could just draw it in. Then I would have two hearts on my nice little paper here. What should I do, guys? Okay, what I'm going to do is, this would be white. I don't want all of that white. I'm going to draw this. So I could use my stencil, or I could use my, but I'll just use this. And I'll save my sort of handmade sticky stencil here. There we go. There. Now I'll know how to line it up if it gets moved. So I have one heart. And I guess you know I'm just playing, but you could take this idea and you can make a card for your friend or anything like that, or just a little art piece. So much fun. And I put washi tape around the edge just to complete have a complete white border. And if I wanted to, I could leave the washi tape, but I'm sure I will take it off at the end. So in order to get this mask apart, the trick is to bend it back toward the paper, not the sticky part, but the paper part. And it will kind of separate. I'm struggling a little bit here, as you can see, but I'll get it. Kind of separate, and you have this nice clear mask. And you set aside the paper part, and you have your mask. And then you can put it here, or wherever you like, on your watercolor paper. So you could do this with washi tape by laying strips of washi tape on a piece of paper that you know you can peel the tape off of, cutting out your heart, and then peeling the washi tape off all in one group of a heart shape and using that on your paper. So if you don't have contact paper, there are other ways to do it. You could use washi tape, you could use painter's tape. Of course, you could always use like masking fluid or something, but that takes a long time to dry. And you know, I personally, yeah, I don't know. I'm not into that. I drew this heart a little bit dark. That's mainly so you can see it. You may wish to draw it a little bit lighter if you're going to pencil it in and try this project. I'm using my Jane Davenport watercolors today. I have a secret to tell you. I finally got my hands on the Blitzy ones, and I know other people have them already, but I couldn't get them, and finally I have them, so I'll be doing a video on that soon. So let's paint the interior of this heart first. What color? Well, we've got an array of pinks here. Do you want this bold, or do you want it soft? Decisions. Let's make this heart soft to start with. So I'm just going to use, let me get out my paint names here. I'm using the Bright palette. I'm going to use Best Friend. Oh, perfect. That's perfect for Valentines, isn't it? I love Jane's names. Okay, so let's get this wet and let's get going. I could have sprayed all of my paints and get them, but I just tend to not do that. I like to do it this way. Works fine for me. You can do it the other way if you like, doesn't matter. Okay, so I want this to be really soft pink. And this is really like pinky pink. It's a nice color, but I think I want to just to add it a little bit warmer. So I'm going to touch in a tiny bit of this yellow after I clean my brush. Ah, such a pretty color. Look at that soft pink. So that was Best Friend with just a touch of Buzzy, and look at that. Oh, now it's not a purpley pink anymore. It's a really soft, warm pink. I love that. Okay, and I'm just going to paint in. Now, normally I'm not so super precise, but because of what we're doing today, I'm going to work on trying to stay in the lines. I'm not so good at staying in the lines, guys. I want it to be really soft, so I'm just going to go right along that edge. That's not going to seep under there as long as I've pressed it down. Oh, look at this. Isn't it beautiful? I didn't mix up much of that color, did I? Oh, let me put some more. I can do it again. Don't ever think that you can't mix the same color again. You can. You absolutely can. You just keep trying until it gets big. Now look, I made an orange. You know why? I put a lot of yellow in there. It's a nice orange, but that's not the color I'm going for. So guess what? Just go back and get some more of my pink. There we go, really close. Like I said before, though, I'm not into perfection, so it's okay with me if it's just similar, so similar. This is pretty dark. I need more water. More water. There we go. And now I'm going to put a little bit over here in this edge. The washi tape is going to resist the watercolor. And if you can see here, the contact paper definitely does. Now, if you don't press it down, it can get under the edge, so keep that in mind. I want to add a little bit of metallic because, I don't know, just loving these metallics. Just dropping a little bit in. I think actually I'll add a little bit. Is this still wet? A little tiny, maybe. little tiny bits in there. The metallic. Make sure this was still wet because I don't want to have like a line of metallic in there. I just want a little bit. I'm kind of adding in another layer of color here. That way I get like a smooth mix, not a really stark contrast. So wow, that's nice and soft. Actually, I'm loving this so much. I'm loving it. Let's see, let's go ahead here. And I need to transition sort of to a different color because when I come over here, I don't want this to be the same. Now, you have some options. You can let this heart dry before you continue. I have a nice uneven edge here, works for me. And I can come back here and overlap it and it will just look like texture and that will be perfectly fine with me. So if I wanted to let this dry now, I could, but I'm not patient like that. I want to continue. So I want to use Frida, this one. Hope you can see that. Look at that, juicy. But I'm also going to put a little bit of this yellow, and this is going to provide a lot of continuity. That was too much yellow. I want it to be mostly pink. So I'll go back and add some more Frida. Just wanted to warm that up just a little bit with that yellow. Now look at that, it's nice and juicy. And what happens if I put it in here? And you can see I'm just dabbing and playing. I'm not doing anything super serious. You know, painting should be fun. I'm going to be careful not to touch this heart. It's still wet, like I said. So I'm just going to try and be pretty precise. I really don't want this darker color to run into it, so that's why I'm doing it that way. Let me add a little bit of this over here for fun and splatters and splashes, in case you haven't figured that out. I like splatters and splashes. Again, I'm going to be really precise. Try to. Hopefully I don't touch that wet paint there. I did. I put my brush straight in it. Did you see that? That's okay. It'll just tie it all together. Just keep going. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Just enjoy and have fun. Well, that gold's really pushing that. It's going to give a nice sparkle when it's finished. I'm really excited. I'm going to just pick that up just a little because I can. Used a dry brush, semi-dry brush, and sort of picked it up. All right, I'm going to keep on going here. Again, I dabbed my brush in the heart. That's what happens when you get excited, I guess. And then, let's see. Do I want to continue to go darker? I think I do. So I'm going to add more Frida into this mix. Because I already like the color there, I just want it to be a little darker. So I'm just picking up more pigment and mixing it around in there. See? Looking pretty nice. That way it sets off this heart that's here already. Makes it nice and lively. Oh, I touched it again, see? I'm really not good at precise, in all honesty. Now I'm going to go back to my light color and drop in some here and there. Just kind of, like I said, I just want this to be nice, messy, fun. More Frida. Oops, got that a little dirty there. Too much yellow. More Frida. That Buzzy, it likes to, really likes it. And even more dark. Okay, see how dark and thick that is? Yummy. That is yummy. And I want this to be solid here. And again, I'm going to drop in more. Now I have some puddles here. I'm perfectly good with that. I want the texture. Tap in a little bit. Okay. So far, I really love this. Should I add some more gold? Hey, of course I should. Who wouldn't? Let's tap in a little here. Get some little dots of the gold. This gold is the Ganzatambi Starry colors. I'm using the blue gold. And it's opaque, mostly opaque if you get a nice thick mixture, so it's really fun to use. I love it. I love my starry colors. I love my Jane stuff too. I'm going to tilt this a little because see how this pigment's just sitting in the corner because my paper is worked just a little. It's quite wet. And actually, what I could have done is spritz the back with water, and then it would be more evenly wet and it wouldn't have this shape we've got going on here. It's okay though. I don't want it to run into the heart like here. Pick that up. Who says you can't fix mistakes in watercolor? Huh. They're so wrong. I'm sorry, but they are. Don't mean to be blunt. Okay, I think I will get out my heat tool and dry this. Normally I really like to let things dry naturally, but let's just, for the sake of time, let this dry. One note about using the heat tool with the contact paper, if your heat tool is, or your hairdryer is too hot, this contact paper will start to curl up. So that's good and bad, because if you're having trouble getting the contact paper off, you can use a heat gun or hairdryer to warm it up a little, and it'll be easy to peel off. But if your watercolor is still wet and it starts to peel and pull up on its own, you might get a little bit of the watercolor bleeding into those edges. Just a quick tip. Okay, so may have a touch of wetness left, but I think it's dry enough to remove my masking tape. But look, can you see this sparkle in this heart from the gold metallic? And such a nice soft color from Jane's palette. I just love it. Okay, I'm going to peel this off now. There's a tiny buckle right there, and just to make it easy, I'm going to get a little tool, make it easier to get started. You don't have to use a tool, it's just easier for me. And peel that right off. Now this is just basically, I mean, you could put this in your art journal or something, but pretty much I think it's trash. If you can think of a way to reuse this once you've used it for here, I mean, you could use it on another project because it's still sticky. But if you can think of a way, let me know. I'd love to hear about that in the comments. That would be fun to chat about. So look at this. We have a nice, lovely hearts. Yeah, okay. So what I want to do is I have this heart overlapping this heart, which is nice. I want to add just a touch of shadow. I'm going to pick up a little bit of this Frida and mix it in with my nice soft pink just to darken it just a little. Here we go. And sort of create sort of shadow here. And soften that edge right there. It's such a tiny bit of darkness. Just tap in a little bit more color there. Nice soft edge. Just to add a nice shadow. Now there's some options here now. I could go back and use a pen or something, or I can erase this line, but I think this will be a little bit hard to see. This color is almost the same, so actually I want to make that darker also. I'm going to get my Frida mixture and go in here and to make this stand out even more, add another sort of soft shadow there. I can go over that white a little bit. There we go. And even here, a nice sort of using a second layer of the same color will just create a shadow of that area, and then I'm just going to soften that edge so it all blends together because I like sort of the blended look. And I'm adding texture over here, maybe a little bit more of our soft pink. And I maybe should have left that longer because I kind of want to splatter, but I don't want it to be too much. There we go. So I'm just using a little bit of this and tapping that in. Maybe a little more than I want there. So clean, thirsty brush. There we go. Now, that, for me, this is fantastic. I can see I need a little more dark here. Okay, picking up my Frida mixture and tap in. That's still wet, so I can just tap in even more dark color. That'll bring the heart forward. Bringing it forward, adding that shadow. Nice, nice, nice. There we go. I love it. I love it. I think this is great. Now I could go back in with different things. I'm trying to decide now what I want to do next. Do I want to, what could I do? I could do all kinds of things. Do I want to use some black ink and outline? I could use a paint pen. I could add white. I'm kind of liking it just the way it is though. Even though I know that's a pencil line, but it doesn't, I don't think it takes away from it at this point. Or I could erase the pencil line altogether. I'm liking this metallic that's in here. Of course, you could do this in your art journal. It's for fun. I could write in the hearts. This one's still a little wet, so I probably wouldn't want to write there, but I could stamp. This is fantastical. I think actually I want to add even a little bit more dark. I'm going to pick up some of this ladybug. Put it over here with my Frida. Frida is nice and dark. I want this to be have even more of the yellow. I just love just playing with colors. So see, now I have a really warm red. It is pretty orange to me. Get a little more of those colors. There we go. That's pretty red. That's a pinky red, but it's still pretty red. And then I'm going to add even more contrast here. I love, love, love contrast. And I'm going to just make some little marks with my brush for fun. Just to add more here. I would do splatters, but I don't want to cover up my heart again, so I'm just going to do it this way. And also this darker. Again, trying to be precise because I want to maintain that shape. And also, remember, I'm not really good at precise, but that's okay. Look, my pink has dried, but there's still some there. It's really light. Could pick up a little more. A lot more, maybe. There we go. A little more pink. Add that into here. Kind of like confetti here. I like how it's looking. I love layers, so I feel like we're doing a nice thing with the layers. I have removed the mask already. Kind of thought I was going to stop, but then I didn't stop, so you know, that's okay. Again, with more of this dark down here. My brush is pretty wet, so I'm actually getting a lot of water here on the paper, and nothing wrong with that. Drop in some really dark. Also going to drop in some really dark. This is still wet, so it's going to move around, and that's exactly what I want. Going for that dark. It dries lighter, so then, you know, you have to work. Go back to my light and add a little bit in here. And I could add even more. Oops, got some pink in there. Add more of my gold in there because it's fun. It is strong. I don't know if you can see how it really pushes into the other pigment. So it is pretty, that strong pigment. There we go. Move that around. All right. Now we've got some nice strong contrast going. Lots of texture, which I love. Yeah, I'm happy. Very happy. I'm going to draw this again and then we'll talk a little bit more. So now I'm just flexing it a little, sort of unbend it. There we go. You could flatten this between books if you're having a problem with it or something like that. Put something heavy on top. Okay, I'm going to take the tape off now. That's like so much fun. It's just like a big reveal. Here we go. Don't like to waste, so when I take my washi tape off, I tend to put it in my art journal somewhere on some random page. And one more little piece of washi. And we have a fabulous watercolor hearts. Woohoo! Look at that. Just fantastic. Nice depth of color, nice texture, so much fun. And if you're into hand lettering, like, you could really go to town with this. Go to town with this, boy. Anyway, you could really have a lot of fun writing. It would be a great background for that. Or, you know, it's just for fun. It's a nice little card. You could put a sentiment on it or anything like that. So, anyway, thank you so much for joining me. And I hope you enjoyed this little watercolor art demonstration. And I will see you in the comments below. Thanks for those thumbs ups, for those subscribes. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want to know when I publish a new video. And I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.